What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Ghost of Tsushima 2, basically at this point, being confirmed. So I want to go over the news story of the job posting at Sucker Punch and go from there, okay? Really quickly, before I do that, though, if you guys are not already subscribed, please do hit the bell icon. Also, if you guys are not following me on Twitter or any of my other social media stuff, all of that is in the description below. My Discord, my Twitter, and my second channel. It'd be much appreciated if you guys showed support there as well. So let's just jump right in here. Pretty much Sucker Punch is hiring for a new unannounced project, which is not, all that surprising. And there's a job for a narrative writer. And one requirement for this narrative writer reads, desire to write stories set in feudal Japan, where the ideal candidate would have knowledge of feudal Japan history. So that is, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Obviously, it's actually only a small, excerpt of what the overall job posting is. But look, unless they're doing a Sly Cooper in Japan, which they have dabbled in that kind of like mythology for Sly in the past. I think actually mainly Sanzaru did that with Thieves in Time. But no, unless they're doing like a Japan Sly Cooper game or they're taking Infamous to Japan, like on the road, like a road tour, I don't think that this is for anything other than Ghost of Tsushima 2. So again, it's not all that surprising. Look, Ghost of Tsushima, I think 1,000%, in my opinion, rebounded Sucker Punch. I think a lot of people had always thought of them as a really, really, really good developer, maybe even elite developer. I always knew they were very good. I mean, Infamous 1, Infamous, even the Sly Cooper games, which are some of my favorite games of all time. I mean, they were incredible. Now, Infamous Second Son, in my opinion, as I've said before, I really think hurt them a little bit. I didn't like that game actually whatsoever. I think they made a lot of bad choices there. But then the First Light DLC, I thought they kind of bounced back in a lot of ways with Infamous. So I guess there was always, and in fact, I think even we've talked about the potential, right? Would there be a potential for Sucker Punch to go back to something else? But it seems like, Ghost of Tsushima sold very, very quickly, broke a lot of different records, did very, very well for Sucker Punch, for Sony. So this is not surprising at all that they would do a sequel. To be quite honest with you, this is kind of a thing that I would see, or a comparison I would see would be like Horizon. Horizon came out. It surprised a lot of people. It really took, Guerrilla to the next, basically the next level of their development career, and they had a very, in my opinion, I would say a semi-quick turnaround. Right by the time the next one is out, Forbidden West, it'll have been around 4 years. Can we get a Ghost of Tsushima 2 in like 3 to 4 years? I think it's possible. I mean, they already have, I would say, the basis of what they would have to do for Ghost of Tsushima 2, so I don't think it would take all that long. We also know that it should be faster and easier to develop for the PS5 than it was for PS4, so if it was going to take them maybe 4 or 5 years, maybe they can get it done in 3 years like max. I mean, you do hope that Sucker Punch would start to churn these out a little bit faster. I guess the only issue, if you even want to call it issue, because I think overall it's good news. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is my second favorite game of the year. It's phenomenal. I actually am loving it even more every single day that I play it. Even the base game, but also obviously Legends is absolutely incredible as well. So, I mean, I would never say no to Ghost of Tsushima 2. The only thing that I have left to wonder is, look, I think a lot of people do want this, and I obviously want it as well. I want Sly Cooper to come back, and I also want Infamous to return, no matter what the way. If they're both remasters, if they are another title, if however they want to do it. It's been for Sly, it's been an eternity, and that needs to change rather quickly. For Infamous, it hasn't been an eternity, but in reality, I think it's actually too valuable of a franchise to just leave behind forever. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Insomniac is in a situation where they are able to just churn all of these games seemingly at the same time, right? For all we know, they could be doing like a Sunset Overdrive 2. They have Ratchet and Clank being worked on. They have Miles Morales being worked on. They have Spider-Man 2 being worked on. I mean, they're able to do, I would say around 3 to 4 games all at the same time, which is honestly absolutely incredible and kind of very different. I mean, not everybody can do that, but I would, you have Naughty Dog that basically has 2 teams working at all time. Sony Santa Monica, there were rumors of that, and that could potentially be happening there. I would like to see the biggest studios for Sony start to develop into a multi-studio thing where Sucker Punch, okay, Ghost probably made a lot of money, made them a lot of money, probably gave Sony confidence in them again in case they didn't have it in the first place. I would hope eventually we could get a situation where maybe there's a main team working on something, and then maybe there's a side even if you don't want to make two AAA games at the same time, maybe there's a side team remastering the Infamous games, or again, maybe doing something with the Sly Cooper games. There's always the possibility that you could then give them to somebody else. I mean, there's a lot of studios out in the world. I'm sure if you approached one of them and said, hey, do you want to make a Sly Cooper game, or hey, do you want to make an Infamous game for us, I think they would probably get a lot of people that would say yes to that. So we'll have to see if those franchises ever return. At this point, from Sucker Punch, it seems insanely unlikely unless we all want to wait like 8 years, because at this point, if they're making Ghost of Tsushima 2, which again is fine, comes out, say, 3 to 4 years, to then make another game would take another, you know what I mean? So now we're at 6 to 8 years right there. Maybe that's Ghost of Tsushima 3. Maybe they do end up going back to Infamous after quite a long break from it. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. So let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Are you excited about Ghost of Tsushima 2 seemingly being real? Do you think that maybe they could work on two things at the same time? What do you think is going to happen with Infamous and Sly? Let me know. Again, as always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Have the bell icon turned on. All my other social media is in the description below if you guys want to support me there. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all on the next video.